Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and this is honestly one of my favorite tools. It's a real simple design. It does what it needs to do. It's got, I think, everything that a tool like this should have. A little hammer end there, kind of a scraper, a little corner for other things. You know, you can wipe the paint off your roller here. I usually don't do that because I'm not using it as a painter's tool. I'm using it for everything else, and it's outstanding. And about 2 years ago, I did a video called I'd Pay More for Less, because Husky basically updated this and they added a whole bunch more features, which I think they turned it into a 15-in-1, and to me this is like a 4-in-1 maybe, but it just ruined it for me. I wanted something simple and strong and somewhat elegant. I think that's elegant. But anyway, I tried others. What I really wanted was a folding one, and I did a video on a Purdy version. I think the ones that open like pocket knives are unfortunately not that strong. I don't trust them, especially in a hard kind of, you know, forceful scraping motion, because I don't want it to close on me. But this is actually a really good design. But unfortunately, I think Husky has discontinued it, which I don't know why, because to me, for the folding ones, this is the only one that makes sense. And there are a handful of different versions. I think Werner's got a folding one, but this is actually a really solid design. Now, it doesn't need all of the fancy stuff going on in the handle. If you look at this on this side, I've got a bent, number 2 Phillips. I've got a jab saw that's bent as well. It's probably safe enough to trust the jab saw, but it's not the strongest. I'd rather use a real jab saw, but it doesn't exactly get in the way. It does have a fairly decent little knife, as long as you don't mind it being kind of whatever cheap stainless steel, but for opening packages and things, it works great. Bottle opener, or can opener, bottle opener, and right here this is more of the old school Swiss Army can opener, and then a little tiny screwdriver there. And these do lock fairly well. Kind of gritty, this one's old, but this is really the wonderful part of it, is just having a smaller multi-tool that has a reasonable scraper front end. And it's definitely smaller, but it's not, a pile of features all over this thing that I don't need. I don't need an oxygen wrench, and I don't need, a hex wrench, and all kinds of different things. But unfortunately, when I looked it up, and it's not available anymore. It's listed on Amazon too, but it's not available there either. Home Depot lists the price, which was about $13, $12.74 or something, I think is what it looked like when I last looked it up. But if you find one of these, it's definitely, to me, a keeper. I'd rather have, if I could choose either one for a particular job, and size didn't matter here, I'd rather have this solid one here. But this is still so strong. That is a good solid lockup. It's nice and tight in there, even though it's got those washers. But that's a decent tool. I've had no trouble with it, but I do find all of the other folding ones to be somewhat sketchy. I think you're just asking for it. But people seem to like some of them. I don't know if they use them very hard. But anyway, that's a pretty robust tool. But Husky, bring it back. We need this. I mean, it's a great design. Really simple. Nice for your toolkit. And, if you have to ditch the knife or simplify it, I don't know where the expense is in this. I mean, a $12 tool, seriously? It's got all of these features. Whatever. But the idea, I think, is to have some sort of a folding tool here that actually works. And Husky, you did it. But what happened? Low sales? Well, maybe I can help you there. But in all honesty, it's a great design. For especially the price. Gosh, that is cheap steel. Look at the way the light reflects off of that. That is just so cheap. But anyway, there it is. The Husky 10-in-1 folding painter's tool that I don't think exists anymore, which is unfortunate. Let me know your thoughts. And with that, Doc out.